And we are back with the Screen Team right here on KWOC. I want to invite you to check us out on the World Wide Web. We are located at ScreenTeamPB.com. You can also check out our official Screen Team channel on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. We're being joined by Matthew and Chelsea today doing some really great films for you. We just got done reviewing Sidekicks, and the next film we're doing is kind of a quirky drama film called The Men Who Stare at Goats. And Matt, why was this a film that was important for you to share with us?
Well, because it's so strange and kind of out there, with just has that little nugget of possible truth, because it deals with something that the government may seem like it would try to do, almost. With you hear them talk about the Star Wars, with us trying to race other countries to space and do something like that. And so you always hear about, especially USA, creating the super soldier or an ultimate soldier or something beyond. And this movie kind of uses that and runs with it, and takes a weird twist on it and makes it kind of strange. Has some big name actors in it, so I thought it was really worth something to watch. It's something different than what's normally out there.
You know, you mentioned that they're trying to create these super soldiers, but these super soldiers they're trying to create them with these like mind powers.
Right.
You know, it's just like almost like comic book characters where they can just use their mind to control their enemy, or they don't even have to have weapons, basically.
Right.
So I found that pretty interesting in this film, and I also found it interesting that we had this A-list cast of actors and actresses in it, and it was a very, very quirky film, and you wouldn't expect a lot of these, guys to be in it, but I thought they all nailed it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ewan McGregor, he's kind of a journalist in this film. He's trying to get the story of these super soldiers, and it's kind of a coming of age story with him and his character as well, because he just recently got divorced, and he's trying to find himself, and he finds himself with these crazy super soldiers.
Right.
So, what did you think about the acting in this particular film? Did you like the actors?
Yeah. You kind of get the vibe that it's not about like super serious acting. I mean, they did their parts very well, but you can tell the actors themselves kind of had fun with it, because you take people like George Clooney, Jeff Bridges, Kevin Spacey, and they all did something just a little bit different than what their normal acting is.
Yeah. Chelsea, what are your thoughts on the film?
I learned that whenever I watch it, I have to really sit and watch it, because it's one of those movies that you can't try to talk or, days off, because it's just really complicated. It was a very complex film for me.
So did that turn you off?
A little. I really don't like movies that have to think. I shouldn't have to think. Which thinking isn't really my favorite anyways.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's why a lot of people go to movies to, get away from their, life troubles or whatever. They don't want to have to go there and think. So that's,
Right. And I remember when Matt and I picked this movie, that he told me, he was, now, Chelsea, you're going to have to pay attention to this movie.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get lost. And, I mean, luckily I didn't get lost, but I'm pretty sure I'd drive him nuts whenever we watch movies like that. I'm like, what just happened? And then he has to pause the movie and explain it to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So it's, other than that, I thought it was pretty decent. It was okay. Not exactly my favorite, but.
So this might not be a film that you might want to explore again?
Probably not.
Okay.
No. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're here for, Chelsea.
Yeah.
To give your personal opinion.
That's my personal opinion.
She does it a lot?
No, I didn't say that. Wasn't me. I was right in the hallway.
Hey.
So I have to ask you, Chelsea, your family owns a farm, correct?
That's true.
Have you tried some of these? Have you tried using like special powers on some of these animals on your farm? Have you used that?
Am I allowed to talk about that on the Screen Team?
If you're willing to.
I mean, who doesn't want to try to use the Force on cows and, try to talk to them?
I don't think people use Force to talk to animals.
Well, I mean, come here and eat your food.
Okay.
From my hands. It's just.
Well, she talks about the Force, but in the movie, it's funny because the Star Wars, they joke on that in the movie, and they call them the New Earth freedom fighters, but they're called Jedis. And with Ewan McGregor being the the journalist who
Right.
tells him, now you're a Jedi. And he's like, wait a second, well, that doesn't make any sense. But he is a Jedi in Star Wars, so it has its inside jokes.
Yeah.
And what she was saying about being confusing is if you don't pay attention, it's so weird, it won't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's weird in general, but if you miss, 2 or 3 sentences where they explain something, that's really weird and out there, and I don't get it, and you'll kind of just give up on it.
Yeah.
First time I watched it, I gave up on it.
So what drew you back to it?
I wanted to figure it out.
Yeah.
I wanted to understand it. And once you understand it, once you watch it and kind of know what's coming, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's got some jokes. But to me, it was watching the actors go outside their normal box and just being different. Now, Jeff Bridges kind of plays the same characters he normally does. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Kevin Spacey's a little weird. George Clooney's definitely a little weird.
Right.
So it was fun to watch. I really thought so.
So who do you think's going to like this film? People who like quirky movies?
I think people who are kind of into conspiracy theories might like it because it's got a funny twist to it. So it might be something it's not real as far as I know, but it's like I said, it comes from that nugget of, I could see America trying that. I could see us trying to go down that path of telekinesis and telepathy and it not working and abandoning the project. But I'd say, I don't know.
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
But problem solvers like you that, even though you gave up on the movie the first time and then it just bothered you. You're like, I want to know what, people like that enjoy figuring out the movies. I know that with our experience movie watching together, I have a hard time picking a movie that he can't predict. Mm-hmm. And so it's fun to watch him watch a movie that he can't predict.
Right.
And I think this movie is for those people. The people who can predict movies very easily.
Yeah, I got you, man. I'm down with you. I got you what you were floating there. You and I were talking off mic that we thought the Coen brothers had some sort of involvement in it, and they don't. But this movie kind of feels like a Coen brothers type of movie, doesn't it?
Right, it sure does. Yeah, like I said, that kind of out there, slightly altered movie feel. So yeah, I thought it had Coen brothers, but we looked it up and it's not. So
the movie is called The Men Who Stare at Goats, and you can find it on DVD. Coming up after the break, we're going to review one of the newest, hottest animated films out. It's called Sing, and we'll get to that next right here on KWOC.